Hey guys, Coach the Board again. This will be NTI Day 7 for you all. We're going to look at 12.2. Yesterday's video was about 12.1, which is dealing with finding the greatest common factor, which is a very integral part of what you guys will be doing today. So hopefully you guys did well with that, which I'm sure you all did. You've been doing well with everything. So let's dive into this. All right, so our learning target is I can factor polynomials in the form x squared plus bx plus c. So we are going to be factoring today. All right, we'll be factoring. And factoring is pretty much the opposite of what we had done last unit in the sense of we're just pretty much working backwards. All right, so to review what we did last unit, in unit 11, where we multiplied binomials, which you guys know a binomial is something like this, x plus y and x plus y. Okay, we knew like we would distribute these and you would end up with a trinomial, which is a trinomial looks something like this, right? We are going to be going from this point to that point instead of going from here to here. All right, so there's your quick little review. Now some definitions. Factorization is the process of writing numbers as the product of their factors or divisors. All right, so the factors of, let's look at this here. What are the factors of 24? We know factors of any number, you're going to have one in itself. All right, so I have 1 and 24. It's an even number, so I have 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Those are all the factors of 24. Factoring trinomials is the process of writing a trinomial as the product of its binomial factors or divisors. So this next part here says, what are the binomial factors of x squared plus 11x plus 24? We're going to work through that here in just a second. That's the example that we will use. Okay? So just make a note of that right there because we're going to be using it. All right. The objective is to determine, when factoring, the objective is to determine two factors of C that add to equal the term B. All right, so when we have, if you look up here at the top in the title of this, you have x squared plus bx plus c, right? We are looking for the factors of this number that add up to this number. And you'll understand more of that here shortly. But that's the sole objective. You're looking for the factors of c that add up to b. All right, and we're skipping through this part because we are using the box method. All right, the box method is very straightforward in the sense of you're going to be using a box, right? And once you set up your box, you'll then just be finding the greatest common factor, which we worked on last video. All right, so step 1 is to draw a 2x2 box. All right, and when it says a 2x2 box, that just means 2 rows, 2 columns. That's a 2x2 box. All right. Step 2, you're going to write the A term in the top left box. And if you remember, we had, let me use a different color, x squared plus 11x plus 24. That's the one we're using, right? A in this one is x squared. All right. C is 24. That's step 3, is writing C in the bottom right box. So 24 will go right there. All right, and moving on to step 4, like we just had, we had x squared and 24 here. Write the factors of the term C that add to term B in the remaining boxes. So what we have to do is we have to find the factors of 24. All right? Now, once again, we'll list them out here. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. We had to use our rules Okay, x squared plus 11x plus 24 is what we had. Our rules, we know that this tells us what the second sign tells us whether they're going to be the same or different sign. All right, and it's a plus, so that means they're both going to be the same sign. So I now need to look at our first sign to see what they'll both be, and they're all going to be positive. Okay, so all these terms here will be positive. And I'm looking for the ones that add up to equal this middle term. And so I'm looking for the ones that add up to 11. Well, this is 25. This is 14. That's 11. That's 10. The factors of 24 that add up to 11 are 3x and 8x. All right. So there's step 4. We filled that part in. Okay. Now, step 5 is to factor out the greatest common factor of the two rows. All right? Now, does it matter if step 5 is the rows, step 6 is the columns. Okay? You're taking the greatest common factor out. It does not matter which one I do first. Let's clarify that. It does not matter if I go this way first or if I go this way first. It doesn't matter, okay? So just understand that. We'll do examples both ways just to show you that that doesn't matter. But we'll do the rows first. So let's do x squared and 3x. The greatest common factor of x squared and 3x. Numerically, I know there's a 1 right here, right? Well, the greatest common factor of 1 and 3 is 1. The greatest common factor of x squared and x, we know we always go with the smallest exponent, so in this case, it's just x. And there's no need in me writing a 1 in front of my x because there's an assumed 1 there anyways. All right, so the greatest common factor of 8 and 24 is going to be 8. Now, this is where you need to look and see, am I touching a positive or a negative box? Well, this right here is a positive 8x, right? So this is going to be a positive 8. And now I'll start with my columns. Greatest common factor of x squared and 8x. Once again, it's just going to be x. Greatest common factor of 3 and 24 is 3. I'm not going to have an x as a part of my greatest common factor here because this doesn't have an x with it, right? It can't be a part of my greatest common factor if they don't have it in common. And once again, I look to see, and I'm touching a positive box. So I have x plus 3 and x plus 8. So my solution here, and I'll write it right here, it's just going to be x plus 3 times x plus 8. All right, so let's look at a couple more examples here. All right, first thing I need, let's work this one out exactly like how if I were to do one. Okay, the first thing I would do is I would find the factors of 16. Factors of 16 are 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. All right, I would then look at my rules, and this tells me they're the same sign. All right, it's a plus. It tells me they're the same sign. I'll then look at my first sign, and it's a negative. So that's telling me if they're the same and the larger one's negative, then they're both negative. Right? So I'll go ahead and simplify these. That's negative 17, negative 10, negative 8. And I'm looking for the ones that add up to this middle term right here. All right? And that's obviously going to be negative 2 and negative 8. So let's draw my box. Okay? Top left corner will be my first term. Bottom right corner will be my C. And then I'll have my two terms that add up to that middle term right here. All right, so now I'll start with my greatest common factor. And once again, it doesn't matter which order I do this, okay? Let's start with x squared and negative 2x. Okay, and that would be x. Negative 8x and 16. Greatest common factor of 8 and 16 is 8. There's no x term here, so it can't be a part of my greatest common factor. And I'm touching a negative right here, right? So that's going to be a -8. And now I'll do my columns. Greatest common factor of x squared and -8x is just x. Greatest common factor of -2x and 16 is 2, and I'm touching a negative box, so it'd be -2. And my solution here is x minus 8, x minus 2. Now, a great thing about these guys is you can check all of your work, okay? Let me show you what I mean by that. I can do what we did in Unit 11 and distribute. X times x is x squared. X times -2 is -2x. -8 times x is -8x. -8 times -2 is a positive 16. Combine my like terms, and I'd have x squared minus 10x plus 16. And if you notice, that's the same exact thing that I started with. So I did this one correctly. Those are the two factors that I should have had, and that was exactly right. So honestly, you should never miss one of these because you can check your work, right? And it's not nothing crazy. It's pretty easy to do, actually. So you can check your work on these. So let's do another example. I already have my box drawn here, but let's find the factors of 27. That's 1 and 27. And 3 and 9. Those are the only factors of 27. I'll then look at my rules. This is a negative. It's a negative C term, so they're going to be different signs. This is where I'll look at my first sign to see the factor of the larger number. So the larger ones are going to be positive, and if they're different signs, then that obviously means that these will be negative. If I simplify these, that's 26, and that is 6. Well, I'm looking for the ones that add up to this middle term here. So that would be -3 and 9. So I'll come to my box. I have -3, or I'll have x squared, -27, -3x, and 9x. Start finding my greatest common factors. Greatest common factor of x squared and 9x is just x. Greatest common factor of -3 and -27, it's going to be 3, and I'm touching a negative box here, so it'd be a -3. Greatest common factor of x squared and -3x is just x. Greatest common factor of 9 and -27 is 9, and I'm touching a positive box, so it's going to be a positive 9. And my solution is x plus 9 times x minus 3. That's all there is to it. All right, so if you guys have any questions or anything of that nature, please be in contact with us. I know even Coach Sharp's classes are using these videos. If any of Coach Sharp's kids have a question, email me, okay? If you just type in DEB in the email, my name, Jamison DeBoard, will pop up. Okay, send me an email, whatever you need to do. If you need me to work you through something, just send me a message with a phone number in it, and I will give you a call. All right, so we are here to help you guys. Remember, you can watch this video as many times as you need. You can stop, rewind it, pause it, whatever it is that you need to do. Okay, so have a great day. Remember, and if you guys have any needs or anything of that nature, please be in contact with us.